right. Good to go.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well,
We are back again for Etheric Touch Soul Care. This is the second class. This class is Chakras and Meditation.
good.
Let's go. So, what are the chakras? The chakras are individual centers of information. Each has its own specific energy that carries a corresponding level of consciousness, its own emissions of light expressing very specific information, or its own frequency carrying a certain message. Each also has its own individual gland, unique hormones, and chemistry. For example, when sexual sensor is activated, it signals a very specific agenda and intention. I can't see this. Okay, thank you. When you have a thought or a fantasy, that is consciousness acting on neurological tissue. Your body changes physiologically, and so does your energy. Your body secretes chemicals and hormones from those corresponding glands to emotionally prepare you for intercourse. You have more energy in that area, and it is releasing its own specific frequency, carrying an intentional message.
Yes, and I know we are all aware of these different energy centers within our own being because, like, for an example, like when you feeling sexual, you're gonna feel that in the sexual region. Like a man, he might get an erection. Like a woman, she might start getting moist. You know what I mean? Like the energy is there. Like, or you might feel it in your heart to where you just feel this love, like this overwhelming love, or you can feel it in your throat to where for some reason you just got a urge to want to speak and talk and voice your opinion. Like you can identify which chakra you're most tuned into. Like this is what this is talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so isn't it amazing that, like, here in society, we only think about the physical. So we know that, our thyroid gland might be, not as active, or we know that our kidneys feel some kind of way, or all these different things, but we don't correlate those physical ailments to our spiritual being.
Yes, and that's something that we always have to do, like in life. Like we always have to see or look at things in a balanced way. Like you always have to deal with the spiritual. Like if something is going on in the physical, then you have to also look and see what's going on in the spiritual as well, because this is a holistic wisdom or understanding of ourselves.
Yes. And so understanding that what is happening in the physical realm is also happening spiritually.
Yes.
Our chakras are the wheels within the body that is operating the spiritual body, just as the endocrine system is operating the physical body.
Yes.
The endocrine system. So the reproductive glands is the prostates and the testicles in males, and the ovaries, uterus, and breasts in females, called the house of essence.
And the reason why this is called the house of essence, because this deals with essence or sexual energy in its purest form. Like that's the beginning of everything else that's going to happen in your life. Like even in the creation of you, like that energy is the essence of what is responsible for the creation of ourselves. Like this is the foundation knowledge that we need to have of ourselves.
Yes. The adrenal glands support the functions of the kidneys, bones, bone marrow, and spine. It is called the house of water.
The house of water. Like we know that we are 75% water. And we know that what role that the kidney plays with the water in the body. You know what I'm saying?
System.
That gland, those adrenal glands.
The pancreas gland helps maintain control over digestion, blood sugar, and body temperature. It is known as the house of transcendence. The thymus gland governs the heart and circulatory system, also called the house of the heart. The thyroid gland maintains the metabolism of the cells in the body, governs growth, also known as the house of growth. The pituitary gland governs memory, wisdom, intelligence, and thought. It is called the house of intelligence. And the pineal gland directly affects the other glands through its secretions and allows one to communicate on a spiritual level. Intuition and consciousness are also associated with this gland. It is called the house of spirit.
And so, like, when we are fully aware of these glands and their connection to the chakras and the chakras connection to these glands, like, we know if we're aware of these glands, then it's certain things that we can do to ensure that these glands are healthy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because the more healthy and like in balance these glands are, it shows up in the spiritual realm, like within the chakra, or vice versa. Like, these things work together, and so we have to deal with ourselves from the understanding of our endocrine system as well, because we want to fully tap into that spiritual side, which is the chakras, balancing those out and reaping the benefits from having a balanced chakra system.
Absolutely. And we all are aware of these glands already. Like, in one way, shape, or form, you've heard of one or more of these glands. So now that you understand the physical manifestation within yourself of these glands, we're going to talk about the chakra, the chakra system, which is the spiritual manifestation of them. We are all created from vibration. Tones have brought us into manifestation. And the beginning was the word. Each chakra is like a musical tone. When we are aware of these tones and vibrations, we can begin to play the music that reflects us living the fullness of our lives. As you begin to play your inner flute, or the chakra system, you will learn to amplify your life force energy throughout your entire body, gaining the understanding of what it truly feels like to be alive.
And so, like, this is what this is talking about. Like, if you look at society, most people deal with, like, those bottom chakras, like, you know what I mean, the root chakra, or survival, like those lower regions of these vibrations. Like, most people are stuck in them. Like, the world in a whole, you can see society is stuck in that, but we have these higher vibrations. Like, these lower vibrations is like the bass in the music, you know what I mean? Like, the boom, the boom, the boom, that which is going to resonate with the body more. Most of us are stuck there, but we have other chakras, higher chakras, just like a piano or a guitar, where you got the bass string, but you got those higher strings as well. So you want to play all of those strings to create music, like a beautiful symphony of music, to create song or just whatever. So this is how we have to look at ourselves. We can't just deal with the base, or the base of life, like living life from its most basic standpoint. We have to get up into those higher frequencies and higher vibrations, and then play all of them together, get all of them working in a harmony, in a unison, so we can make beautiful music in life. Like, this is what this is talking about. Fam.
Yes.
Beautiful music.
The Kundalini, the serpent energy. Kundalini Shakti, a feminine energy, resides in a coiled form at the bottom of our spine. Once the Kundalini Shakti serpent energy gets the signal, it begins this journey of flowing up our spinal cord to reach our brain, where it can completely alchemize its energy into vital hormones and spiritual energy, resulting in a union with the divine.
So this is talking about, like, that union of our higher self and lower self, heaven and earth.
The methods regarding how to raise the Kundalini have generally been a closely held secret within mystery school systems. In the West, activated chakras has historically been regarded as accessing occult powers. Once the full Kundalini has awakened, it completes a circuit from our genitals up to our brain, spiraling up through our spine. Throughout this journey, we can possess great intelligence paired with wisdom and strength.
Yeah, so once again, this is talking about that essence that was on
the house of essence.
Yeah, the house of essence that the other slide was talking about. Like, that energy in its base form is sexual energy. Like, we done talked about this some in other classes, like this being the base energy, or the house of essence. So this is the energy that has to be used in the transformation of ourselves from our base self to experience our most divine self, and just look at it as music. Like, we have to hit those higher chords and those higher frequencies and experience what that brings, because we know what, in the base aspect of who we are, we know what that brings. Like, we see what that brings when a person is vibrating from that rhythm, but what does it look like when you were saying and you were hitting that purest chord in ourselves, that pineal gland, along with all the other, you know what I mean, chakras and glands within the body, and you are able to harmonize all of that. Like, this is what it feels like to be alive. Like this is what we learn, what it feels like to be alive, because we feel the energy resonating through our entire being versus it just resonating in the lower aspect of who it is that we are. The energy being trapped in that lower world, but being able to experience the heavens above or the higher world of who it is that you are by activating these chakras, sending those tones and vibrations, those higher tones and vibrations through our being, creating a whole nother higher experience for us. Like this is what this is about. Uniting heaven and earth. The earth is lower frequencies and vibrations. The heavens is higher frequencies and vibrations. It's the same thing in us. Like you can live like the devil or you can live like God, or however you want to look at it. You can just be a mundane and know yourself from the mundane, or you can know yourself as a spiritual being. Putting the two together, like in a harmony, and this is what creates what is known as high vibrational matter. Like matter does not dense like this. It's still matter, but it's a higher vibration of it. It's a higher frequency of it.
Yes.
More fluid frequency of it. More spiritual frequency of it.
Yes.
Incorporating the two, bro.
And one of the things that I did want to just touch on is that the indigenous cultures understood this science and practiced it as part of their culture. You know, so when we talk about ancient Kemetic, the ancient Kemetic times, when we see the pharaohs and they have that stake on their crown, it's talking about them reaching the frequency, the vibration that they're talking about, the awakening of the Kundalini within themselves, rising up into the pineal gland. You know what I'm saying? And so,
beginning with the sexual energy, we know that sexual energy is on a journey to become life force energy, and from there we know it continues to become spiritual energy. And this is what that serpent, like Osuntola was saying, that the pharaohs will have at their crown represented. It represented them taking and completing that journey. Now they are enlightened. Now they are God on earth.
And during those times, just anybody couldn't go through that, like get that knowledge.
You had to be chosen for that.
You had to go through, you had to be chosen for it. And then you had to go through mystery school systems in order to obtain that level of knowledge and
yourself.
Correct. Yes. And so now this is what we are calling the occult. This is what we are calling the alchemy or the alchemist. It's the energy of being able to take your sexual energy and transform it into spiritual, high vibrating energy.
Yes, taking your sexual energy and using that energy to transform your entire being, to transform yourself back into
divine
again.
The gods and goddesses.
The gods and goddesses again. Using that energy, like this is the only way that this can happen, and the chakra system is the knowledge of that.
Yes. So how does your chakra system work? The body and mind are inseparably interrelated. Each governs and affects the other, and each is accessible through the other. The 7 major chakras are also inseparably interrelated. A block in the functioning of one chakra may affect the activity of a corresponding chakra. For example, you may have trouble with your personal power, which is your 3rd chakra, because of a block in communication at your 5th chakra, and vice versa. In the mind, the chakras are patterns of consciousness, belief systems through which we experience and create our own personal world. In this way, the chakras are really programs that run our lives. Our lower chakra programs contain information about the body in terms of survival, sexuality, and action. The higher chakras brings us to a more universal states of consciousness and works with our deeper belief systems about spirituality and meaning.
So what this is saying that like how they're all connected, like the chakra system is one. Like if one chakra is out of whack, it's going to have a direct impact on the chakras before it and the chakras after it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one system. Like if it's a blockage, let's say in the heart, like how is the energy going to make it past the heart? You know what I mean? To reach higher levels of itself if it's a blockage at the heart, or if it's a blockage anywhere within the chakra system. Like it can't be any blockages. It can't be any interruptions in the flow of the energy. Like all the energy has to be working in harmony with itself. All the energy has to be in tune with itself.
the actual wheels, remember the chakra system is wheels, right?
Yeah.
And so the wheels have to be able to spin. All the wheels have to be able to spin in the directions that they need to spin in order for it to elevate into higher consciousness. And so what you'll see is that well, you won't see, but the way it usually works is the root chakra may be going clockwise while the sacral chakra may be going counterclockwise, in order for those spurs to continue to vibrate higher and higher. And if one of those wheels gets stuck, then it stops the momentum of being able to rise.
So we're saying, like, if a person don't get their root chakra together, the survival, the food, and everything that comes with that chakra, how are you going to make it to higher, you know what I mean, chakras or levels of consciousness? Because that's all the chakras are. There are different levels of consciousness, different levels of wisdom, and according to which chakra that is most activated in you, that's what your life is going to be a reflection of.
Yes.
Like, if a person is trapped in that lower chakra and all they deal with is like survival and sex and things like that, then you're going to see them living a life that reflects it. That's where the energy is at, because that's the information that they are only aware of at that point in their life. But as we ascend to the different levels of consciousness of ourselves, let's say knowing ourselves as a loving being at that heart chakra, or being able to speak the truth of who we are, or just having that first eye open to where you can see the spirit behind the physical, then you can deal with that level of information. But you can't do that until you get to that level. You can't talk about the mysteries of the universe if your consciousness is locked in this root nature. Correct. You have to ascend to that level of awareness.
Right, and there has to be some kind of stability in the root chakra. That root chakra has to be balanced in order for you to be able to have spiritual experiences. Yes. You can't skip. There's no skipping the ladder. Yes. You have to climb Jacob's ladder, not skip over steps. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the way the chakra system works. And when he talks about it being patterns of consciousness, like he said, you can see it. People stuck in their root chakra is about violence. People stuck in their sacral chakra is about nothing but sex. They have nothing but sex on their mind. You know what I'm saying? And it continues to go up until we get to the highest of highs. So the first chakra is what I just said. The first chakra is the root chakra. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine. The basic issues around the root chakra is survival, vitality, stability, and security. The color is red. The mantra is Lam, Lam. If balanced, you will feel security, humility, grounded, stable, energetic, be at your optimal weight, healthy eating, and proper elimination. If it's unbalanced, you will feel insecure, fear, anxiety, unstable, low self-esteem, anemia, over or underweight, and constipation. The next one is at the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is between the genitals and the navel. I've always been taught that it was the navel, at the navel. Yeah. Basic issues deals with creativity, sexuality, reproduction, and pleasure. The color is orange. The mantra is Bomb. If balanced, you will feel creativity, joy, sexuality, healthy sex life, prosperity, patience, fertility, and pleasure. If unbalanced, you will feel guilty, shyness, irresponsible, infertility, sexual issues, allergy, and eating disorders. The third chakra is the solar plexus. That is located between the navel and the solar plexus. Is actually the diaphragm, at the diaphragm. Basic issues are with power, self-esteem, and strength. The color is yellow. The mantra is Ram. If balanced, you feel energy, strength, confidence, strong will, mental balance, health, confidence, and active. If unbalanced, you feel guilty, lack of energy, weakness, and allergies. So I want you to start, like, as we're going up these chakras and we're talking about each one, I really want you to start visualizing within your own life the people or things that you can see that are in this level of consciousness, and then start to be aware of where you are in your level of consciousness as well.
This is how you can identify other people and what level of awareness they have of themselves. Like just watch their behavior and they'll show you what their energy resides at. Then you can have a clearer picture of that person, regardless of what they're saying to you. You know what I mean? Or the words that are coming out of them, their mouth. Like just see what their energy is mainly located at, and that gives you that ability to see inside of a person by just watching these things.
Being able to identify the chakras too also will allow you to start to trust your own intuition, because this is part of reading. Like he's saying, it's starting to show you the inner working. So that means you're reading them. You know what I'm saying? It means you're divining them. You're looking at the spirit of them versus what they're appearing to you. You know what I'm saying? This is part of that whole process.
A person can show up looking like $1 million, but on the inside, they broke. You know what I'm saying?
The fourth chakra is the heart chakra. That's, of course, located in the center of the chest. Basic issues is love, acceptance, and compassion. The color is green. The mantra is Yam. If balanced, you will feel loving, empathetic, open-hearted, serenity, emotional balance, trustfulness, and tolerance. If unbalanced, you will feel loneliness, demanding, critical, jealous, cold-hearted, narcissistic, heart and lung problems, asthma, and allergies.
Yeah, like you can tell when somebody got a closed off heart. Like when someone's heart chakra is closed off. Like you can tell even when a person's like what chakra might be closed off and which one is open, just watching them. Like, because everybody can't voice their opinion. Like everybody's throat chakra is not open. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you can see what work needs to happen there. Like even in a healing, some kind of healing ceremony that you might be doing for someone, like by you being able to see what chakras are open and the ones that's closed, that can help guide you in what needs to be done, even if the person don't know.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. The fifth chakra is at the throat chakra, located at the throat. Basic issues, communication and self-expression. The color is blue. The mantra is Hum. If balanced, you will feel peaceful, truthful. You'll be able to listen, good communication, strong self-expression, and peaceful. If unbalanced, you will feel shy, weak voice, fear of speaking, unable to listen, lying, arrogance, thyroid, heart, or throat problems. I really appreciate this one specifically because a lot of times when people are talking about the throat chakra, they're only talking about speaking, but the throat chakra is also with hearing. Do you know how to not like be quiet when it's time to be quiet and listen to the messages that are coming your way? Are you able to really bring that into yourself instead of trying to block it? And so, yes, it is about being able to speak your truth. It is about being able to, have your self-expression, but it's also about listening.
I want to be quiet and listen. Yes.
The sixth chakra is the third eye chakra, which is located between the brows. Basic issues, intuition, vision, and perception. The color is indigo. The mantra is Om. If balanced, you will feel intuitive, guided, perceptive, clairvoyant, bright dreams, spiritual, mental strength, and good vision. If unbalanced, you will feel lack of intuition and imagination. And last but not least, we are at the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra. It is located at the top of the head. The location of the crown chakra specifically is where the infants have the soft spot. That's where the soul embeds itself into the brain. Within the pineal gland, yes. Basic issues, knowing, connection to spirit and the universe. Color is violet and white. The mantra is silence or Om. If balanced, you will feel spiritual, blessed, unity, wisdom, open-minded, peaceful, connected to the universe, a strong nervous system. If unbalanced, you will feel mental disorders, fear, materialistic, memory and learning problems, apathy, broken, and a spiritual crisis.
I think this is dope because it explains like all of these things that we are seeking on our journey, like this inner knowing that we are all seeking, this connection to spirit that we are all seeking. Like this is the journey of how to get there. Like it's working on these different levels of chakras, climbing Jacob's ladder to re-enter the kingdom of heaven to be one with the consciousness of the creator again.
Yes.
Like this is the journey, like, and like this, what these chakras represents is like the stepping stones. Like these are the steps you got to take to, you know what I mean, to acquire this level of awareness of yourself. So this is what journey we are all on. So this is the directions, like the path, the way.
And so a lot of times when, you know, we are feeling disconnected, when we're feeling empty, when we're feeling like there's something more to this, but I don't know what that something more is, when we're feeling fearful of the unknown, we're actually saying we're fearful of ourselves. And so all of this is it's an amazing, beautiful journey because you always are being pulled back into yourself. It's not about being led by anybody else. It's about you leading yourself. This is like true sovereignty. When you are able to connect with spirit and the universe and allow the universe to be your guide, that is heaven.
Get into that place to where you know what's right for you from what you're feeling on the inside of yourself. Like
Absolutely.
that inner knowing. Like I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like this is how in tune, like this is what we're searching for. But this is also how we acquire that. That
Absolutely.
guidance.
That wisdom.
That wisdom. That connection.
The 7 chakras. These are the 7 chakras. So at the root chakra, you are, I am. Okay. At the sacral chakra, I feel. At the solar plexus, I do. At the heart chakra, I love. At the throat chakra, I talk. Should say I speak and listen. At the third eye, I see. And at the crown chakra, I understand.
And so we just trying to balance these things out inside of ourselves. Like we're observing ourselves and see, and we're getting to know where the work needs to be done at, like facing ourselves, these shadows and all of these things that are going on in our life. Like this is the journey of balancing out these chakras. That's all it is.
Absolutely.
Making this journey of ascension.
Yes. Meditation, the science of breath. So meditation is one of the tools that we are going to give to you today to put into your toolbox. This is something that you can do at any time. This is something that it could be as short as 5 minutes a day or as long as all day long, whatever, you know what I'm saying, you feel like. But one of the things that we need to understand before we even begin with meditation is that this is something that you need to practice. Because at first, it's going to seem that you're not going to be able to shut off your mind, right? The goal is to learn to, you know what I'm saying? And so this part of the class is the practice part. Like practical application is what makes the difference between knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Absolutely. It's through the experiences that you have from the practices that you put into yourself that you will grow into these experiences and grow into this wisdom. This is how we take that sexual kundalini root chakra energy and help and allow it to raise within us. Ascend. Thank you.
We're all on a journey of ascension. We understand
to the crown so that we can have an understanding that you are an essential part of the universe. You are connected with it. You do have access to it. None of these things are outside of you. It's already within you.
It's within you. And the journey, like Osuntola was saying, the ascension is the internal ascension. The ascension is taking this base energy and raising it to its highest manifestation of itself as we ascend in levels of consciousness of who it is we are. That's what the ascension is. It's not an external thing. It's something that happens internal and reflected in how people behave externally.
Absolutely. It's a practice. There's levels to breathing. Who knew, right? The average person breathes about 18 breaths a minute. This is consciousness and beta wavelength body awareness.
And so at this level, this 18 breaths a minute, a person is only aware of themselves as a physical being. They're only aware of themselves as the animal at this level. So when a person is unconscious of their breath and they're breathing that 18 breaths a minute, then more than likely that person's behavior is highly reflecting that of an animal, because it's only body conscious, the urges and the temptations of the body. this is what this 18 breaths a minute is going to give you.
When in a very relaxed state or a light sleep, the brain slows considerably, as does breathing, to around 10 breaths per minute. This is the level of the alpha wavelength.
And so like it's like it says like a light sleep, or other words, like, you know, like when you're kind of drifting off, like you can tell that you like consciousness is shifting in some kind of way, like it's heading towards the spiritual realm. Like when you're in that light sleep stage, like you can see this shift happening, but this is what we can take control of. We don't have to wait till we actually falling asleep. We can do the breathing technique that get us to that
relaxed state,
to that level of 10 breaths a minute, to where we can just start tuning into the spirit world.
Yes. When breathing slows down to around 4 breaths per minute, consciousness is in the theta wavelength. At this level, you will begin to have mystical experiences. Yes. You begin to experience the subconscious mind.
And these are all facts. Like, this is scientifically proven. Like, they study, like, hook people up and breathe, meditate, and let's see what happens to, you know, like your consciousness. So even science is letting you know, like, what type of shifts your consciousness goes through as it relates to your breathing pattern. So whenever we're able to get the breath down to about 4 minutes per, like 4 breaths per minute for a certain period of time, then you're going to experience these shifts in consciousness. Like, you're going to be taking your awareness more into the spirit realm, deeper into the spirit realm, deeper into the spiritual reality of yourself, so we can tap into that and have that experience. And so we can come into that knowing, that wisdom, that understanding of who it is that we are. Like, this is easy to do right here. And to have these experiences, the only thing that we have to do is just practice them. Do it. Do it.
When breathing slows down to 1 or 2 breaths per minute, consciousness is in delta mode. This is known as the God's breath.
Now, this is a very, like, this is the breath of the masters. Like, this breath is talking about 30 seconds in and 30 seconds out. 1 breath per minute. And what that would take your consciousness, like when a person is able to breathe 1 breath per minute, like what depth of themselves that they're going to understand. Like, it's going to be, I am God breath. You know what I'm saying? So this is what this breath can take you to, in the realization of who it is that you are. But everything is about practice. Of course, it seemed crazy to be able to breathe 1 breath per minute. Like, but it's people that can do it. But these people have been practicing these breathing for years upon years. I can guarantee you that. So in other words, like, we have to be practitioners of the information.
Absolutely.
We have to be practitioners, because the more you practice at anything, the greater you're going to become at it. The more advanced you're going to become at it. So this is advancing in our breathing process, like understanding the breath technique, becoming masters of breathing, in other words, because breath is life. Like, this is the breath of life. And how are we not going to want to master the breath of life? Like, we should be seeking to master that, understanding these different levels of breaths that this slide is talking about, and how that impacts you, like your consciousness. Have this experience, and then come back and tell about it from a place of knowing.
So one of the things I did want to also just add in too is that the society that we live in is a rat race society. Everybody is constantly in the ebb and flow of moving, of being distracted, of doing anything other than sitting with themselves. And the way spirit works comes from you being able to move slowly, sitting with yourself. So right here, what we are explaining to you is the frequency levels that you have to obtain within yourself in order to be able to tap into the mysticalness that you already are. But this is a practice.
This is a practice.
This is something that is done over time. And the expansion of the, like, thank God, thank the universe, thank God that it is so gentle with us, because you have to learn how to get from 18 breaths to 10 breaths to 4 breaths to 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a whole
journey,
practice, devotion that has to happen within yourself. You have to be devoted to yourself to learn,
to know yourself,
to be able to harness that type of energy
that
within
God
you.
Consciousness.
Yes.
That God consciousness.
A lot of people talk about they want to have these mystical, magical experiences. There's a work that happens in order for these things to manifest.
Because you have to be able to harness the energy. Like, if God just, just allowed you to experience the fullness of itself right now, like, it would destroy most people.
Yes.
Like that, what that feels like, that vibration, that energy, it would destroy most people. So we are preparing ourselves to be able to harness the God frequency. Like this is a journey that we are all on, preparing ourselves to be able to harness the God frequency.
And it's so, and the beautifulness about this is that this journey is so gentle. It's so kind. It's so peaceful. You going within yourself. That's where you're learning to cultivate peace, love, harmony. And so it's not something, you know, life circumstances can present you with certain things that prompt you to make adjustments in your life to transform your life. But the actual process of transformation, you know what I'm saying, is a very internal work. It's an internal love affair. So now we have to learn, like when you are sitting down and you are practicing meditation, instead of being so conscious about the breathing, even though there is a consciousness about the breathing, instead of getting frustrated with the thoughts that may come, allow those to come, but gentle with yourself.
But what helps even to slow the mind down is the count. So we're gonna get in there and moving too fast.
I'm just saying we'll get into it, but I just wanted to make sure I stopped here and let you know, like, this is an internal love affair. So if your thoughts keep moving, don't beat yourself up for those things. Just allow those thoughts to come and go and come back into, like he was saying, the rhythm of the breath. Okay. And we're going to get into discussing the rhythms of the breath as we move forward. Remember to be gentle with yourself. The health benefits of meditation.
Some of them, not all.
Some of them. These are the ones. This is a few. Increase happiness, reduce stress, better sleep, improves brain function, reduces blood pressure, helps depression, pain reduction, improves immune function, treats anxiety, promotes emotional health, lengthens attention span, increases self-awareness, helps with weight loss, and generates kindness. Excuse me. Can you explain the alternate?
Yeah. Okay. You okay? The alternate breathing technique. I know we went over this before, but we're gonna go over it again. Like the reason why we got this breathing technique here is because, like, what we're talking about with this breath is the balancing of the divine masculine and the divine feminine on the inside of us, heaven and earth. Just the balancing of yin and yang, the balance of opposites. And this breath is designed for that. Like the average person, whenever you breathe in, you can tell that one nostril is more clearer than the other nostril, which prevents us from being able to breathe in both nostrils simultaneously and smoothly, because that's what we want to be able to do. Like we don't want any blockages on either side, because that's going to put us in an imbalance, because something has to be blocked. And this is why the breath can't flow evenly through both nostrils. So this breathing technique is designed to clear up the pathways that will allow us to breathe evenly through both nostrils, what brings us into a place of inner harmony and inner peace. And remember, that's all that we are seeking on this journey. The only thing that we are seeking is inner peace. Like we don't want to be at war. We don't want the man and the woman, or the divine masculine and feminine, to be at war on the inside of ourselves, because that's the only thing that not being at peace is an internal battle going on inside of you between the king and the queen, the god and the goddess. But we want them to be in harmony, because when they're in harmony, we're able to then give birth to our higher self, or that new being that we are becoming. But that can't happen until we all understand what this eternal love affair is about. It's about bringing ourselves into that internal harmony, which produces peace between the two extremes, which allows something new to come forth. Because when a man and a woman come together in that sexual union, something else is produced. So this is about producing on the inside of ourselves the newness of who it is that we are becoming.
So for a moment, so we're going to practice this breath together. For a moment, I would like for everyone to just sit.
Whoever they can. I know people, like, she got kids, and whoever can.
Everybody go ahead and sit. Like, this is a breathing technique that you want to sit up for. So sit upright, feet planted on the ground. There's no cross circuit. So feet are flat on the floor. Hands can be on your thighs. And we're just going to close your breath, and for a few minutes, just sit there and see which side of the nostril has a clearer pathway than the other. For me, mine is on the left side. How about you?
Mine is pretty good, but I would say maybe a little more on the right might be a little more clogged.
Take note of which side is most clogged for you, and then we're gonna go ahead and start the breath. Okay? You're gonna explain the breath?
Yeah, like this is how the breath goes. Remember, it's the alternate nostril breathing technique. So let's say that we're all gonna start breathing in through the right nostril first. So you would take the left hand, the thumb of the left hand, and you will place it over your left nostril, closing that nostril off. And you will breathe in only through the right nostril. Now, the count for this breath, after we pin the left nostril closed, we'll breathe in for counts of 4 through the right nostril. Then we'll hold for a mental count of 8. And then we will close the opposite nostril and then exhale that for counts of 8 on the opposite side. And so the nostril that we had pinned off when we breathe in through the right nostril and then hold for that count of 8, when we are ready to release, we close the opposite nostril. Now the left nostril is ready to be, it's activated now. So that second count of 8 will be breathing out of the left nostril. If that makes sense. So I hold my nostril.
I can't see it.
They can't see? Okay.
Hold on just a second, y'all. Something happened with the video. Yeah, we're in our spiritual form now. Give me 1 minute, y'all. Ooh, now we got a green screen. There we go.
There we go. So let me show you. Everybody heard me, right?
Yes.
So this is how we're gonna start off. We're gonna close off the left nostril. Breathe in for a count of 4 through the right nostril. Go ahead. Close both nostrils for a count of 8. Release now the left nostril and exhale for a count of 8. Now keep the right nostril, because it's a flip back and forth. We just exhaled out of the left nostril. Now we're going to breathe back into the left nostril for a count of 4. Close off both nostrils for a count of 8. Now exhale out of the right nostril for a count of 8. So it's just a flip-flopping. Like if you start off closing off the left nostril, then you breathe in through the right nostril for a count of 4. Close both nostrils for a mental count of 8. Then release the left nostril and exhale out of that nostril for a count of 8. Now, when we're able to do that, like whenever you do that breathing technique for a minute or for the count of 4, like whenever you go through the whole breathing in and releasing 4 times, you have brought your breath down to 4 breaths a minute. Like, and we was just reading about the impact of what 4 breaths a minute have on your consciousness and your awareness. So whenever we go through that, like how we breathe in for a count of 4 and we held for a count of 8, and then we exhale for a count of 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, and that breathing, and then that 4, that's 20. So that breathing in for 4, holding for 8, and exhale for 8. And by the time you do that breath 4 times, that's 4 breaths within that minute. And then we know what 4 breaths per minute have, like what type of impact that's going to have on our consciousness. Like that takes consciousness into the subconscious mind. And so this is what that breathing technique is designed to do as well, is to cut that 18 breaths a minute all the way down to 4, and then have those experiences, because we know what the 18 breaths is going to bring. That's historically known as the beast breath. 18 is 666. 6 times 3 is 18. So when you're just only breathing at 18 breaths per minute, that person is going to act more devilishly. So cutting that breath all the way down to 4 breaths per minute, that puts the person more in tune with the spiritual aspect of who they are, that divine aspect of themselves.
So this breath off gate will go ahead and help you to start having mystical experiences. Okay. And if you know, I know that was very short,
but
you can actually do this breath up to 7 times per cycle. And what you'll notice now is that both sides are clear, a little clearer than they were when we began.
Yes.
You also may start to feel, as you begin this practice, a little lightheaded. So don't rush to build up to the 7. You know, you can start with just doing 3 and then build up to doing 5 and then do 7. You know what I'm saying? And then do it multiple times a day. You know what I'm saying? But this is a practice. So don't try to feel like you have to go hard in the paint and get right
just
to 7.
Judge yourself.
Okay.
Do it and judge how you feel.
Remember, be gentle with yourself. The energy of the cosmos. This right here is talking about how we are able to, because we are the microcosm of the macrocosm, right? We have a direct connection with the universe, and we are able to harness more energy into our beings because of this connection with the universe, because of our connection with the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, the earth. Okay. And so that this next breath that we're getting ready to get into is called the microcosmic orbit breath. It is about circulating the energy within yourself in the same ways that we can circulate it outside of ourselves.
So this right here, this breathing technique is designed to put us in harmony with nature, because this is all that nature is doing. The energy of nature is in a constant exchange between heaven and earth. A constant exchange between heaven and earth. Like, this is what's going on in nature, but this is also what's going on with us. Because remember, most people don't ascend to get that divine aspect of who it is that they are. They don't make that ascension up and then bring it back down so you can incorporate that in your everyday life, that awareness of yourself in the mundane things that we have to do on earth. It should be constant communication between heaven and earth. It should never be no disconnection. So this breathing technique is designed to have us fully in tune with that, so we can be always in that flow of heaven and earth. Heaven and earth is one, like that connection, not lacking in any aspect of either.
Yes.
But always heaven and earth being in constant communication within us, within harmony, within us. So circulating the energy to heaven, bringing it down to earth. Circulating the energy to heaven, bringing it down to earth. That's how it goes.
Yes.
Water falls down from the sky, but then it makes its way back to heaven. Like, that's the cycle. People come down from the heavens to earth, then they make their way back up to heaven. Like, this is the cycle of life. Is that circle, that cycle.
Yes.
That cycle. So this breath right here is to keep us fully in tune with that, to keep that, like within our own being, because we want to have what it feels like to ascend to heaven within ourselves, because this has to happen inside of us. So climbing them chakras is what's going to get us up to that heavenly, experience of who we are. And then we bring that consciousness back down to earth, and then we apply that to everything that we do. But if we don't ascend to get that awareness of ourselves, how are we going to be able to apply it to the things that we have to do on earth?
So this breathing technique is literally for you to start to feel the circulation of your own energy within your being. Okay? It's the circulation. And every time we pulling this energy up within our being, it's the same way as you can imagine that this energy circuit is also circling into heaven in this way, and pulling that energy down and circulating it back into earth. You see what I'm saying? This is the microcosmic orbit. And so with this breath, it has less to do with the count of the breathing and more to do with the flow of energy as it's circulating the body. Again, this is a cycle, So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the navel, which you can see on the right hand side is number 1. we're gonna close our eyes and see this energy traveling down from the navel to the sex organs, to the perineum, to the tailbone, up the kidneys, up the solar plexus, past the heart, past the throat, up the base of the skull to the crown.
And so you don't have to do this, like take the breath in and then imagine that. Then imagine the energy making its way up to heaven, flowing up. And then when you feel the energy get there in your imagination,
get to the crown,
release
right to the
it back
third
down.
eye, release it back
Release
down.
it back down.
And let
as you exhale.
Release to the navel
and then
again.
Inhale, and then imagine the energy making that same journey up the spine to the crown when you feel it there within your own self. As you pay attention to it, and then allow it to drop.
Now remember,
down.
with this, the only thing about this technique, we're gonna do it on a count of 6, 3, 6. So 6 breaths in, hold for 3, 6
That's
breaths
the rhythm.
out.
6, 3, 6.
Hold for 3.
So you breathe in for
breathe
count
in
of
for
6.
6. Hold for 3. It should be at your crown at the 3. Hold for 3, and then 6 out. Okay. We're gonna start at the navel.
Y'all understand that? Breathe in for a count of 6. Imagine the energy coming to the crown. Hold for a count of 3, and then exhale for a count of 6.
The only thing that I would ask for you to remind you is to take your tongue and put it to the top of your mouth, to the roof of your mouth. This is what allows the circuit to pass through the mouth. Yeah. Okay, as the energy is circulating.
And the reason why, like, the more that we strengthen our imagination, like imagining that energy, like we have to, like, I know we do understand that life itself is imagination. Imagining, like we imagine things into existence. We have been imagined into existence. Life is mental. You know what I mean? So to have a strong imagination is key. Like, and so as we practice this and we imagine this energy coming up, making its way to the to kingdom of heaven, like that journey of imagining it ascending, the more that we do that, the realer and realer it's going to become. Like that experience is going to become, because this is what's actually happening. Yes. But we have to tune into it. So the more that we tune into this, the more that we're going to experience it deep, like more deeper.
Yes.
So
we're going to do this breath 3 times. All right. Remember, starting from the navel, so going down into the earth, coming up the back of your spine to the crown, and then coming back down to the navel. Yeah, so okay.
When you feel that it's at the crown, release it down. So
we're going to do this 3 times. We're going to breathe in
for a count of 6.
Ready?
1, 2, 3, breathe. Now imagine that energy. And when you know it's there, release for a count of 6. When you release for that count of 6, hold for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now breathe in for a count of 6. Imagining the energy making its way to the crown. Feel the energy making its way to your crown. Hold for a count of 3. And then release and exhale back down to the navel for a count of 6. And when you get there, hold for a count of 3. And then begin your inhale again for a count of 6. Imagining the energy making its way to your crown. Holding for a count of 3. And then releasing for a count of 6. Back into the navel region. And I know, and so like whenever y'all doing this alone, like find your own rhythm. I know this might have felt kind of rushed, but if you even did it just now, I know you felt the energy. You should be able to
have
felt some energy.
I have an energy surge.
And so the more that you make it your own and it's quiet and you don't got no distractions and nobody is telling you what to do, and you find your own rhythm and you just go into that breathing technique for, let's say, 5, 10, and then as you go, you know, as you more practice it more, you can extend that length. Watch what kind of experiences you'll get ready to have.
You want to cycle through that microcosmic orbit at least 7 times. Yes. But of course, this is, again, I just want to keep emphasizing, this is a practice. It's a journey. It's a routine that you're putting into your lifestyle. So over time, that 7 may increase and increase and increase as time progresses. Yeah,
but the main thing is just to work with the breath.
But you have to practice this.
Work with the breath, and then you will see and you will know for yourself, like what knowing and understanding the science of breath, like what that's going to take you spiritually, like what's just going to lock within you, and
Unlock
your
within you.
consciousness unlock within you spiritually, like what type
Yes.
of understanding that you're going to have of yourself. This is the breath of life.
Yes.
So this is about bringing life fully into our being so we can know what it feels like to be fully alive. Remember, the average person only breathes 18 breaths a minute. This is why they act more animalistic, because they're not aware of themselves fully. They're not aware of that higher aspect of who it is that they are, because they're not breathing deep enough to understand themselves
To tap into it.
in that way.
The last one we're gonna do today is called the aura power up. A lot of times when we come into, like, we can go into large crowds, or it don't even have to necessarily be a large crowd. You could just been around someone who you be like, their energy was off. You know what I'm saying? They drained me. I'm exhausted after being around them. This particular breathing technique is to strengthen your aura field in order that you are able to go out and still maintain your levels of energy, or to build it back up. So the way this one is done, again, you're sitting upright. You're going to make fists, right? And the fists are going to be like tucked in, okay? Tucked in, not out like this, right? Mm-hmm. The thumb is tucked in, okay? You're going to place those two fists on your thighs. And the count for this breath is 6 in, hold for 3, 6 out, hold for 3. Okay, so this one is just strictly for the aura. We just use this count because it was easier to teach for the microcosmic orbit, but the count is still the same. This actually increases your aura, okay?
This is like strengthening, like Osuntola was saying, your force field, because we don't want just any type of energy to be able to penetrate and get to you and have an impact on you. Like, you know what I
This is
mean?
how
Like,
you
we want to
protect
have
yourself.
strong auras when we come out into this world.
Yes.
So because people are being attacked out there and don't even know it, like on an energetic level, by being around people and not having that force field strong and just being hit from all different directions and don't even know it. Like, this is about knowing that you need that energetic protection. You need your aura to be strong so you can come out into this world, but you don't have to bring everything about this world home.
Yes, this is how you protect yourself.
This is how you protect yourself.
So we're gonna do
that aura.
We're gonna just do this for 3 times again, because you already did it the last time.
Yes.
So here we go.
So we're breathing in for a count of 6. After you breathe in for that count of 6, hold for a count of 3. After you hold for that count of 3, exhale for a count of 6.
And you want the exhale to be slow.
Slow, like not rush. Like feel the energy build up. Like this what this is about. Like feeling the energy build up, because the breath is designed to bring energy into your body. The breath is the #1 way to bring energy into our body. So it's about feeling the new energy that you are breathing into yourself, harnessing, holding that for that 3 seconds, and then allowing it to disperse on the exhale breath throughout your being. But you're feeling it building up the more you inhale and exhale on this breath. So it's a breathing in for a count of 6, holding for a count of 3, exhaling for a count of 6, holding for a count of 3, inhaling for a count of 6. It's just that flip back and forth constantly and staying in that rhythm. And if the mind is somehow an issue, like the count helps you take you out of your mind, like the mental count. But one thing that the breath is designed to do is designed to allow the mind to settle. You know how people can't get their mind to stop running? The breath is what allows that to happen. Because the more you breathe, the more you take these deep rhythmic breaths, the more relaxed you're going to become. Not just your body, everything about you, your mind, everything is going to become more relaxed. So eventually you're going to see your mind begin to subside. But you have to stay within the breathing technique. Yes. Go deeper and deeper within the breathing technique, and then your mind is going to disappear. Like you're going to get to that point where you're going to see your mind has disappeared, and it's just an inner presence that you feel. It's just an inner awareness that's in there. Yes. But we have to get to that point. So this is what the practice is about. It's about building up our endurance of harnessing energy, because that's what the breath is about. Harnessing energy till you get to the point to where, you know, like you can what we truly experience, what it feels like to be able to harness life. Yes. And our being. Yes. That's what this is about.
This is the way we tap into the power within. So many times people come into the etheric touch wanting to know about their spiritual gifts right away. Those are things that unfold within you. You are to tell us what your gifts are. It's not for us to tell you what your gifts are. You're supposed, you will know, you will reveal. And so these breathing techniques that we went over tonight, and in correlation to now your chakra system is starting to spin, and you're being more aware of where you are energetically in your spirit,
in the inner world,
you know,
breathing, going
through
that
these
realm of
practices.
yourself.
These are the things that have helped to tap you into your mystical, magical
cells.
Absolutely. This is the
breath of life.
This is the soul. This is your soul care. This is how you take care of your soul. This is how you nourish your spirit. This is part of the tools in your toolbox that you'll be able to pull out later.
How you get to higher levels of consciousness. This is how you ascend up those chakras to re-enter the kingdom of heaven again.
Yes.
This is how.
So now we are on the journey. Now we begin the journey, this internal love affair. Yes. We are beginning that internal love affair as we go into these meditations and understanding our chakras. So
yes, and meditation, remember, is designed to bring the consciousness inside of the body. Most people have been living their lives external. So we have to balance that out. This is what creates the love affair. So we have to, understand how to go into the internal. Like we have to understand the breath, because the breath is the only thing that's going to take you deep inside of yourself. To have that experience and to know and experience and be a part of that world as well. We have to balance it out, because most people are only aware of the outer world.
Yes.
We have to balance that out. Remember, that's what enlightenment is. Enlightenment is peace. Enlightenment is harmony. Like enlightenment is the two extremes becoming one.
Yes.
That's what this is about. So in harmony.
With this class, we would like for you to start tapping into your inner world.
Yes.
You are more than welcome again to come onto our exclusive.
And read the benefits of the breath, because you can do these breathing techniques and be conscious of a particular benefit, like just tune into a particular benefit of why you're doing the breath, and and manifest it. Manifest it. You know what I'm saying? I know you're over there making faces at me.
Because I'm like, every time I start talking.
Go ahead.
Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, concerns, you can log on to the Facebook group, our exclusive Facebook group, which is the Etheric Touch Healing System for students only. Reach out to your intern. Reach out. Let us know how you're feeling. Express yourself. This is the space. This is the energy to be able to do so. Everybody around you has already walked this path, so we encourage you to reach out and use your resources, okay? We love you, and we will see you next time. Peace.